Oh, kia ora mai tātou, ko Puoro Jerome tēnei, and welcome back to our series, our podcast around Taonga Puoro, which is called Oro Atua ki te ao. Oro Atua is a term, as I've expressed in the previous episodes, around Oro, or the vibration of our Atua, and those are our energies and guardians of the natural world. So anytime we're utilising Taonga Puoro, we're drawing on those energies and that power of the natural world that comes through our Taonga Puoro. So koina te he whakamārama poto, he paina te kaupapa Oro Atua. It's just a short explanation around what Oro Atua is. And of course, Oro Atua ki te ao is sharing those taonga tuku iho, those sounds of through our Taonga Puoro, from our tūpuna, from our atua, from ranginui, from papa tuanuku, from io, from the source of creation, with the world. So that sound comes from the time of creation, and that sound still resonates and is heard in the world. So yeah, koina, Oro Atua ki te ao. In this episode today, we're going to be looking at the Pumotomoto. So Pumotomoto is a long type of Taonga Puoro that's made by splitting two pieces of long pieces of wood in half, and then carving out the inside, and then joining them back together and binding them up. So that's the Pumotomoto. Pumotomoto refers, on our tinana, refers to the fontanelle, or the top part on the crown of our head. That's that part when we're little babies, that's really soft. It's a soft spot on the top of our head. And that slowly closes up over the first 18 months of our life. And so that sort of explains what the Pumotomoto is used for. That type of Taonga Puoro, the Pumotomoto is used. Well, firstly, when we're in the womb, it can be used to play into the womb, into the pito, and during that part of our life. And then when we're born out into the world, then the Pumotomoto is played directly into the fontanelle, into the Pumotomoto, just above, and played down into the baby's soft spot of the head there. And that can be done any time, but obviously it's a good one to use when baby's going to sleep. And if you could hear at the start, hopefully, if I've sort of done my job properly there, you'll be able to hear that words are also sung or expressed at the same time as the Pumotomoto is being played. And those kupu can be korake or ruruku, it can be reciting whakapapa, it can be mōteatea that pertain to the whakapapa of the baby, and all those beautiful things can be sung into the Pumotomoto, through the Pumotomoto into the baby's Pumotomoto. And so yeah, those are some of our thoughts that we wanted to share today around the Pumotomoto. And so with a lot of our Taonga Puoro, we're able to play them much like anyone else would play a cross-blown flute or something similar to that. But one particular thing that's quite different for us Māori is that we're able to sing at the same time. And so a lot of the time I spent on marae, I would have my kōwauau or have my porotu or any type of Taonga Puoro, and I would play along with the mōteatea. that our whānau and hapu and iwi were singing, So so that's really just about listening to the tune of the mōteatea and trying to join in and kind of bring some kind of harmony through the puoro with the singing of the mōteatea. Particularly in the gaps, when there's little breaks in between natural gaps that happen in the mōteatea, then puoro can be played in there to kind of bridge that gap so that it, bridges that whole sound together into one. And it's some of the functions of our Taonga Puoro. And and so also why I reference that is because we have the words of the mōteatea that can be sung down into oko wauwau, oio poro tū, or whatever puoro we have, even pūtātara and pūmoana, we can sing down into the shells and sing along with the mōteatea. So I'm just going to give you a little demonstration of what that sounds like, and I'll use a ruku, and then you can hopefully pick up and hear some of the words as I'm playing the Pumotomoto at the same time. So a really special one for our babies and for that time of haputanga. So I'll give you a little demonstration here with the suruku playing my Pumotomoto. That's sort of what I'm talking about there in terms of playing our Pumotomoto into the fontanelle or the Pumotomoto of our babies, and that can also be done, as I said at the start, when in the aputanga, when our babies are inside the whare tangata of their mothers, we can also play the Pumotomoto into that space, and it's just a very gentle sound. It's not a big sound, it's not a loud sound, it's a very gentle sound, and then we combine that with our own reo and through our ruruku, through our mōteatea, through our karakia, as I mentioned, reciting whakapapa, me ratu ngā taonga o tātou. So those are some of the kōrero that I can share around the Pumotomoto. This Pumotomoto that you're hearing here today is made from matai, and as with all of our puoro, it depends really on what type of rākau, what type of material that's used that holds that certain frequency or resonance or vibration. So this one here, when you hear it, it's holding that vibration of the matai. And if we're playing for our babies, then that's the frequency that they're receiving, is that frequency of the matai tree. And then that ties us back in also through sound into our whakapapa with our rākau and our natural world, or our Atua. I'm gonna, not much really more to add to that, but just to plant the seed of for our whānau and our people out there. The Pumotomoto is in its name is the biggest clue, is that it's it's a taonga that's used to play for our babies and for our mothers, and through that process of haputanga and birthing. Sometimes I would play my Pumotomoto out in the pūtaiao and sort of treat it in a similar way to how we would play for our babies. We can look at playing our Pumotomoto. I have played my Pumotomoto for in the ngahere and played two like saplings, little baby trees. Sometimes if I'm planting in the mara and the tipu starts to come up out of the mara, then I'll play also for them. And it's just really holding that thought and those whakaaro around playing our Pumotomoto for any kind of baby, even a baby tree, where else have I played the Pumotomoto? Sometimes I've played Pumotomoto into puna, into bodies of water, and to bring that kind of resonance of the matai into that space. And while I'm sharing ruruku or karakia, and so those are some of the ideas around the Pumotomoto and some of the practices, because that's really where it's at. The last thing I'd like to add is sometimes if I'm starting a kaupapa or a project or some mahi, I might use the Pumotomoto to start to play into ruruku and karakia, into the start of that kaupapa. And again, that kaupapa is likening to a baby, and we're playing that to begin any kind of kaupapa. So, and once again, these are just my practices and my thoughts, and really this is about sharing my experiences with you all, so that perhaps that can plant seeds into some ideas that you might be able to use your Taonga Puoro, your Pumotomoto for. But yeah, the big kaupapa here is for our babies, and obviously when they're in the whare tangata, that sound is very soothing, and then as they come out into the world, then we can play the Pumotomoto as they're going to sleep, and disposition ourselves playing in the direction of the fontanelle. And of course you want to be careful, because it's a soft spot, so don't get too close, but this close enough to be able to direct that sound into the fontanelle, the Pumotomoto of the baby. So I'm going to play the Pumotomoto, this matai Pumotomoto, to close off the session. And nā mihi, this one's a bit of a shorter one today, but just wanted to jump on and share some whakaaro, some thoughts around our beautiful Taonga Puoro known as Pumotomoto. Mauri ora ki a tātou.